Yes, it has happened. Bruxy Cavey's old church, the church that he started, that blossomed into Canada's biggest church with, they allege, 10,000 attending members in house churches and in-service, multiple campuses, is going to have to close for the month of July 2024. And really, the pastors here, there's an online pastor, and then there's the teaching pastor that describe what's going on. Let's give them a listen.
Our insurance provider is not renewing our abuse, liability, and employment practices coverage as of next Sunday. So we have a bit of runway still with the insurance that we have, but they've said that they're not going to renew it. And we have been looking, but nobody is jumping at the opportunity to provide us with that insurance. We've been asking for extensions from our current insurer, and we're trying to find other ones, and we're trying to find other leads, but we can't guarantee that we are going to have all of our insurance covered by next Sunday. So because of that, it's really hard for us to be able to get together, at least for our in-person gatherings. It's really hard to be able to do that because we can't guarantee protection for staff. We can't guarantee protection for volunteers, vulnerable people, including children and youth. We can't do that. And so in light of that, our leadership team has felt led to pause our normal ministry activity starting on July 1st.
My name's Jimmy. I'm the teaching pastor here at the Meeting House, and you may be wondering to yourself, whoa, this is different. What's going on? In case you haven't heard, over the last number of weeks, we've encountered a troubling reality for our church family as it relates to an insurance that precludes us from meeting as normal in a public ministry setting on Sundays via home church, Kid Max, and youth, and so on.
In one sense, I'm not surprised this has happened, because there is a sexual abuse culture at the Meeting House that has been reported ad nauseum, and you can read those articles. I don't want to regurgitate the horrible things that this church has done to people on the area of sexual abuse and sexual immorality. And another reason I'm shocked, because he says no one's running at the opportunity, that first pastor there in the dreadlocks. And the thing that you need to know about insurance companies is they are out there to make money. And the fact that they can't get insurance shows that this church is a serious liability. This is like a person who's had like 15 accidents, and no insurance company wants to insure them. And this is what's going on with this church. They cannot get insurance because they are a serious liability. They are even danger to people. That is what's going on here. I do want to talk about the ex-pastor of the Meeting House Church, Bruxy Cavey. I had met and heard Bruxy Cavey preach over 25 years ago. He was preaching in a college and careers group in Toronto, and it was the wildest sermon and the most inappropriate sermon I had ever heard preached in a church. Even the young adults pastor said there has never been a sermon preached like this. And I know if this sermon had been preached in the congregation to an older audience, there would have been fireworks indeed. Bruxy said inappropriate things. He said things that should not be said in the pulpit. But I think Bruxy had a way of connecting with people that maybe weren't really serious about their faith and weren't ever really going to be serious about their faith. He had a nonchalant or relaxed view of Christianity. Next, he also denied penal substitution. Now, penal substitution, of course, found multiple places in the Bible. Romans 3:25, Jesus is that sacrifice of propitiation. It's that powerful word that describes the work of Christ on the cross, that Jesus bears the wrath of God so that the wrath and anger of God that we deserve to bear is brought upon Christ. We're given righteousness. We're set free. We are forgiven. Bruxy Cavey actually denied the biblical truth of penal substitution, that Christ bore the wrath of God. And here we are looking at this 25 years later. I heard that sermon. I said, this guy's a weirdo. Here we are 25 years later looking at this guy, sexual immorality and false teaching. And it's no wonder that this church is in the mess that it is in. That it created a culture, a people that didn't care about sin. From top to down, really, leadership all the way down to the people. And in a lot of ways, I feel sorry for these pastors. They're trying to navigate through a mess which I don't think they created or had a part of. It's sad what they're going through. It's sad that there were Christians that attended this church that have even quit going to church altogether, which makes us wonder if they really truly were Christians. But this is an absolute mess. And this is also the danger of people being tied to a personality, being tied to someone that they think is hip or cool or funny or who is a very charismatic person. Church shouldn't be about that. We're to focus on Jesus Christ. That's the person, that's the God that we worship as Christians, and we're to focus upon Him. We're to lay aside all these goofy personalities, these goofy things that we saw that the Meeting House did for years, for decades, and serve Jesus Christ and love His Word. Thanks for watching, and God bless.